My name is Darci, and I am one of the finalists for the Sabbatical Beauty Scholarship. And I wanted to take a minute to actually talk to y'all about my project. But before I did, I had actually contacted Adeline earlier in the week to see if I could just say something in general, because I was inspired by Marissa's post about money and some of the conversations that followed after that, to the point that I wanted to say something too, independent of my project, but it relates to it too, so this seems like a good venue to say it. So while I'm waiting for everyone to get used to Facebook Lives and catch up, I just wanted to make a comment and just say thank you to all the people who are involved in the community and let you know that you are all appreciated. I've noticed that people are apologetic that they haven't bought products yet, but the community is so much more than just the purchasing of skincare, more than just having the products, trying all of this stuff. It's a community that relies a lot on us being interconnected, supporting of each other, involved with each other, helping build each other up. And I wanted to just start this with that PSA that you can still be a very active, very important, pivotal member of this community without having spent any money. And I think that's something that is really special about the Sabbatical Beauty community, that we have this idea of supporting each other, and it's not built on social class, it's not built on academics, it's not built on intellectual prowess or anything like that, which for me as an academic is kind of nice, because academics are ruthless, and this community is not. So that was sort of my PSA to start off with, that I just want to encourage everyone to continue to be involved. Do your creeping or not, but make yourself known. We appreciate you and want to hear your contributions. So that's sort of my follow-up to Marissa's, that we are a community built on that type of support. And if you're just here to learn and to, yeah, ruthless, we have no Ruth, we are without Ruths. If you are here to just learn and support each other, then that's going to be good too. Use the skincare when you can, how you can. And if you're interested in trying and funds are an issue, there is that Pay It Forward program. There are other opportunities to sometimes see discounts. Parties usually have good incentives, so you can get bang for your buck if you're trying to make your money go as far as it can. So that's sort of my introduction to the Sabbatical Beauty community. And that's actually a decent place to transition into the discussion of my actual project, what I'm applying for the scholarship for. Those of you that don't know, hi Natalie, I am a philosophy professor. I make my money teaching philosophy, or so they say, I make my living teaching philosophy. And one of the classes that I teach regularly is business ethics. And as somebody who wants to be a good person, it can become really depressing watching business ethics trends. So when I started following Sabbatical Beauty, I started looking at it from the business perspective, and not just the skincare line, but I was looking at what Adeline was doing as a community, what she was doing with her products. And I realized that there was something in it I really liked that I wasn't seeing as often as I'd like to. And that's a entrepreneur or an owner, somebody who's associated with a business who has a very clear idea of what their values are, and they ensure that their product or their organization, their community reflects those. And so this has been something that's been on my mind for a while, this idea that a business does reflect its values by the decisions it makes, the products that it makes, the way that it responds to the community. But it had been a while, if ever, that I'd actually seen somebody do this. So in my classes, this is something I always talk to my students about, that every decision that you make shows your commitment to certain types of values. And if you want to be a good person, you have to start doing things that are consistent with that. And if you want to be a good person in business, you have to find a business that is aligned with those values, or recognize that your business and your organization are going to reinforce the society around you. So if I have a cosmetics line and I am doing experimentation on children against their will, then I can't say I really care about children and their well-being. I care more about profit or that experiment than the children. And that's something I have to consistently try to tell my students, that everything you do is reflecting what you value. And it was refreshing for me to watch the Sabbatical Beauty community live that out. Adeline and the community have done a really good job with the help and assistance of the elves with identifying what those values are and then actualizing them, finding a way to reinforce them, and be very vocal and very open about what those values are, that it is part of the brand. That's what you're buying into as well. So what I want to do for my project is look at companies like Sabbatical Beauty, use this as a starting place, but look at others as well that have, in an authentic way, intentionally focused on the way that their values are shaping the society around them, and vice versa, the way that society is asking things of them and whether they're going to reinforce that. This is the glory of the lives. You learn that my brain works faster than my mouth. And you can sympathize with my students because this is me at my teaching best. But back to my project, the general idea is this idea of beauty in action, in the sense that a lot of cosmetic companies and a lot of beauty industry businesses focus on selling the product of beauty, but in a way that is morally questionable, or at least I think is. It reinforces negative stereotypes. It encourages people to spend money to be better. It pits us against each other. It breaks us down and then says that it will build us back up. They create a problem where there isn't one, and then they offer the solution. But companies like Sabbatical Beauty, and I'm sure there are others out there, that's part of the research I want to do, aren't taking that route. They're embracing this idea of authenticity, of finding your, hi Marissa, it's okay that you're late. I'm barely just getting started. It's classy. There are these businesses that are saying that that's not effective anymore. It's not sufficient. That beauty isn't just chasing this unsustainable standard. There's more to it than that. And they're trying to reinforce a way to help people see that there's beauty in what they're doing and who they are, and that you don't have to hate yourself to love yourself. You don't have to tear yourself down to invest in yourself. And those are the types of values I want to look at in this project. The companies that have this very clear mission statement, commitment to values, and the ways that they try to follow through with that and like reinforce it and bring it into their communities, like for example, how Sabbatical Beauty has. And not all of these companies have been successful with that endeavor. It's really difficult, but I want to start looking at success in those failures so that we can help understand how we can actually use the beauty industry or other business models or business models for other products in a way that can actually produce good action, positive action, social change. Profitability can be consistent with social values. It doesn't have to be antithetical to it. It doesn't have to be opposed to it. And I think that's what my project is going to focus on, the way that specifically beauty industry products can have a good social message. They don't have to be bad. They don't have to be morally problematic. We don't have to create harm in order to make money. We can actually do good things as well. And general idea is to look at that, look at some of my philosophy background, look at some of my business ethics stuff, compare these companies, see what is good versus what is bad, what's successful, what's not, contrast these models, the ones that are focusing on social action, with other ones. And end result is a couple things. One, I'd like to do some webinars or like videos or blogs, even some, I guess, Facebook Lives or vlogs, if you want to put it that way. And some will be for the community, but I also would like to make some of this stuff available to my students that they might benefit from seeing the evidence that you can have social value, you can have a commitment to making things a certain way and still do well. So I want to make something accessible to them. I would like to share this research with them. Hi, Adeline. Share the research with the community, with like the videos, the blogs, things like that, a variety of different levels, some really quick and formal, some a little bit more formal and written. And my end goal eventually is to try to turn this into a larger body of written work that I can pitch to a magazine to sort of get this message out there that micro-influencers are important, social values are important, that a company can do well when they stand for something. And I think the trends are also out there that millennials aren't killing Applebee's, they're actually demanding better. And so Applebee's type stuff. Sorry if you love Applebee's, I eat there. I don't want them to die, but their standard and their business model is becoming outdated. People want more than that. And I think that's what part of my project will focus on, is how we are seeing this shift away from status quo and just, what's the word? Can't think of the word. Long day of teaching, words escape me. Crapplebees, yes, thank you. But that like cookie cutter plastic, like white picket fence bowl, I caught that, isn't really working anymore. People want better. And so it's not that like millennials and zennials and people in general, like social justice warriors, are like killing capitalism. Yeah, so Applebee's is apparently a good, hi Natalie, Applebee's is a good example that's resonating with people. But that's the thing, it's, we want more. We want better quality. We want our companies to stand for something. The money that we invest, we want to know where it's going. We want to feel connected to it. And I think we're moving into a position where this isn't just a minority of people. I think it's going to be a majority, if it's not already. That as people are realizing that they're voting with their dollars, they are being more selective. And this is the trend that I want to look at. I want to highlight the ones that are doing this, the ones that are successful, the ones that aren't, let's try to learn from them. What are they doing that made them unsuccessful? What can we learn from that in a way that will help us? And a huge bit of this is ending up being sort of like a shout out to us, like reminding us of like what we can do in sabbatical beauty as a community to help continue this, to help find small businesses that we think are good, remind ourselves that we are actually like voting with our dollars, and reinforcing this community that we've created and cultivated and nurtured in a way that will continue to be in some way sustainable. Yes, down with corporate dinners. Madeline, see you in the replay. Past Darci is saying hi to future Madeline, and Felicity, yes, waves. Oh yeah, so Natalie asked if I plan on making research or lesson plans available in some ways other than a zine. Yeah, so one of the things I intend to do is sort of make this a developing work in progress, where in my useful notes, I wrote that I do want to do like a blog lesson plan, give resources, research available. Any type of video I do, I would do transcripts for a captioning for, so that would be something that the money would go towards. Smaller blogs to build in, and Natalie mentioned op-eds, like that's part of it too. I'm thinking that it would be useful to have this be a multi-tiered project where there are some, not to use the word basic, but like some basic level introductory stuff. Here's just a quick intro, things that are a little bit more deluxe, a little bit more advanced, that build into each other and help us see the bigger picture. So I would like these items to stand alone, potentially. So like a blog or an article or like a video, a live, that gives you a quick taste of a component of it. But if you look at this start to finish, you'll see like a big project, the full picture. So at any point, if you're just taking a bit, you should be able to learn something from it and get something from it. But if you're following around step by step, either in the written or video stages, you will see a bigger, broader picture that will give you more resources for having beauty in your action, or having action in your beauty if you want to take that route. And ideally, I would love to like pitch the final project to a national magazine, and I will pitch it. Ideally, it would be accepted and picked up, but if not, we'll still have a whole body of work that we can build off of. And frankly, love y'all. I would love to be a scholarship recipient, but brace yourselves because I'm going to do this I'm gonna do it. Like, I just am. Oh, you want me to be your teacher? I don't think that you do. This is, I don't know. Oh yeah, microwaved Applebee's, not a good thing. Daniki's saying that I would be a good teacher, and guess what? Heads up, I'm gonna. Whether you want me to or not, yes, you can. Whether you want me to or not, I plan on doing this because I think our community is something to invest in. I think our community is something to celebrate, something to share, and I am planning on making these videos, these blogs, these small op-eds, these pieces, and the larger piece because I want to. I need to. Like, I honestly need this. I need to invest my research in a project that I feel like has, oh yeah, like Natalie says, like impact, something that has social relevancy, something that reminds me that it's not all for naught. I teach philosophy, I teach, I'm just in academia. A lot of it seems pretty tedious and futile, and I need something to focus on with like the good in the world, like plant those seeds. And end of the day, y'all are my seeds. Like, I'm focusing on you, what we're doing, what this community is. I'm looking at what we're doing right, what we may not do as good as we could, but also contrasting to other businesses too. This is kind of my goal. It's kind of my baby, and it's inspired by all of you. And if you came in a little bit late, I did start off by saying that my preliminary comment was just that our community is so important, and it's not because of the dollars, it's because of the people. It's because of that investment in the personal capital that we invest in each other. And that's what I'm trying to celebrate. And that's what I'm going to do with my project, is focus on how we have that action as a community, independent of dollars, but dollars help. And how we can use it as a better business model. Give me some hope as I'm teaching business ethics. And then the really good chance that some of this is going to end up shaping the way I teach business ethics from here on out, because I keep telling them that you can be a good company and be profitable, but they never believe it. And so I think as a result, this can end up working into lesson plans as well, that I can show students, here are models of companies that actually are committed to some sort of social action, and here's how they've been successful. Ooh, personal capital. Yes, you can steal that, but steal it in the good way, not in the like, I steal Darci's boyfriend and make him do work for free. Which, I mean, if you want to, you can. He's kind of crusty, but yeah, personal capital. Investment in the people, human capital, not in just money or products. And I think that's what's kind of allowing the community to work the way that it does. Oh yeah, and don't tell Nick I said you guys could steal him. It takes away the fun when you kidnap him. Just kidding. The joy of lives, I offer up my boyfriend. Sorry. I am also too lazy. Too lazy, but is there, I know I didn't mention what I would do with the money. That's sort of the thing. This money would allow me, oh, he knows he's crusty. He definitely would not be surprised. But with the money, it's something that would allow me to do research. It would allow me to have like web posting, transcriptions, any of that stuff. So there's that capital in there to allow these types of projects to actually work. Also, in some places, I might need to pay for like editing, proofreading, something like that. If I pitch to a magazine, sometimes there are application fees depending on what I'm looking at. So there might be emphasis there. Depending on where we're at, I might want to interview people, so there could be interview costs with that. Who knows? So it depends on where the project goes. So there'll be research, investment, making the stuff accessible to you, ensuring that I have the means to do this. So that's sort of, aside from the fact that like the last few comments seem to be comments about me giving you permission to kidnap my boyfriend. Is there, I mean, if you want to, you can, but is there any other things that I haven't addressed. My cat is unusually absent, so I have no one to show you, but anything else I missed? Anything I forgot? Questions you want to know? Lessons you want me to teach? Anything? It's getting kind of awkward. Well, while I'm waiting, just in case there are any other last minute comments, just want to say that, expected timeline, I should be able to finish this by August. My semester ends next week, and I will start working on this pretty soon. Yes, I'm trying to give like fillers. So I plan on starting like beginning of May. I should be finished by August, at least with like a basic idea. In positive companies, like I'm not ready to commit to any other companies that I see that are good yet, just because the problem is there are a lot of companies that look good on paper, and then you start to look into them and you realize that they're questionable. So that's one of the questions for this project, is which ones really are out there, which ones can we celebrate? And I actually am wondering how big of a scale this can work on. Do these models of being invested in like social action start to fail when you get too big? So that's one of the things I need to look into too. And there are some companies that I will look into, but I'm not comfortable like committing to them yet, because I don't want to say that I think Nix headphones are a ethically good company, and then I do the research and find out that they're made at the expense of like testing on animals or something in a morally questionable way. So that's sort of my first hurdle, is to start looking at the companies and dig in and see which ones are actually really reliable, really sustainable in a action sense. Gabriella wants to know if women-centered companies function differently than others. That's another thing I do want to look into. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because one of the things that research tends to show that I want to back up and support is that when you have diversity, in the sense of not just heteronormative cis white men running the show, when you actually have women, people of color, people of different ethnicities, people of different national origin, different religions, the companies tend to do better. They tend to be more marketable. But that's not a standard business model in the US as much as it should be. So that's another component, and I'm actually going to write that down because I forgot to write it down. But if you look at integrating things like just more diversity in general, getting away from like the cis hetero white model, businesses tend to actually do better, and they tend to be more socially representative of the world. And I had to write that down in my notes because it's in my goals, but I forgot to write it down. I think that's going to show something, that when you actually look at a business that integrates a variety of perspective and thinks about like the world and not just what people want, like a very specific narrow set of what people want, then I think we will see a much better model. And so I'm glad that you raised that question. You know, when I find some good companies, I'll like add those in. I'll give updates. That's on my to-do list. You guys will get like free business ethics lessons from Darci. And I can tell my students that there are like people in the world who want to see this for reals. They're lucky to be my audience every week. And while I'm giving y'all a minute to like think and absorb and type if needed, I just want to say in advance, I guess, thanks to everyone who's participated in this. For those of you who submitted your applications, they are amazing to read. I don't know how Adeline went through and just went through and didn't want to just like help everyone. And for the people who are giving feedback, for supporting each other, whether they made it as finalists or not, this community is just so valuable and so rare that I want to thank everyone who's involved in it. And like I said, if I don't get the money, you're stuck with me anyways. It's a thing. I'm not saying I don't want it, but I'm committed to this. It's something that I think we should focus on. I think we should highlight what we have here. And it's not just the money, it's not just the products. The products are amazing. If you haven't bought them yet, try them. But I think there's something more substantial to what we're doing. And I think it's something that needs to be highlighted and see if we can find it elsewhere. And if not, we need to start telling more people about what we're doing and why and what's happening here. That you can have good quality products, maintain the bottom line, and have a community that stands for something. I think that's something that we need to give ourselves credit for, and it's something I wanted to thank everyone for. I am a very shy person. I don't like human interaction. It's uncomfortable for me, but this community has made me not just feel comfortable with you, but feel compelled to put myself out there. Thanks, Jana. Yeah, you're stuck with me. 5 not even forever. But this company actually has made me feel compelled to do more. And that's what I want to highlight. That's what I want to invest in. That's what I think we should be investing in, continuing that. And if you are watching this live, thank you so much. If you are catching this in the replay, also thank you. Either way, you'll probably want to like and subscribe to Facebook videos or the YouTube videos, because we have a lot of information out there, and there are going to be other lives with the other finalists coming up soon. I think Marissa has been doing a very good job of scheduling those as quickly as possible. So I really encourage you to look at these projects, talk to these women. I've read over them, looked at the videos that are online, and it's just amazing body of work. I'm really excited to see what everyone does, and I look forward to sharing things with you. And I'll give it another cursory, like, little bit in case anyone's sending a message and I miss it. But if you do send a message and I miss it, then I will check the comments after and give you feedback. Just to follow up. So, anything? Bueller? Yeah. My other videos will be better. This is more of an informal, haggard, end of teaching finals week. Sorry. Oh, someone's sad and angry. I'm sorry. Sorry. All right, well, I guess since I haven't seen any comments in a while, I will bolt. And once again, like, thank you, like and subscribe, follow this, and really look into the other projects, because these women have done amazing things. They're making amazing proposals, and I think you're going to be really excited to see what we're all producing, what's going to come out of this. And thanks to Adeline for giving us this opportunity, and thanks for Marissa for setting up all of the events like this so that we can share and discuss this and get your feedback, because I appreciate the questions and comments that you have given here. It gives me something to look forward to in my project. And no further ado, bye.